This is my PowerPoint. PowerPoint slide number 1. I will not be moving off of this though. The Rotary Foundation is about money. Hey, you got the dollar sign. Way to go. As an accountant, does that accurately reflect the dollars? There's 2 slashes there for dollars. Now, the foundation is made up of 2 portions. There is a giving side, and there is a use side. Errol, would you please stand? Errol Ernestine has been our giving side chair for how many years? 4 years. And he's going to continue this year as he's been continuing this year as he's preparing to be president of the Sugar House Club. Thank you. Fantastic. If you need to know anything about how you're going to give money to Rotary, Errol is your man. I'm also here, but he's really the guy that does it. So I'm excited to be here and excited that you know the PowerPoint presentation for the foundation. It is? Okay. And the fact that the District Foundation Committee will work for money. There are 2 parts of Rotary, like I said, of the foundation. It is the use side and the supply side. I want to talk briefly. The reason I scared Art was because I got here and then I saw some brochures out here in the corner and I realized I have a trunk full of brochures that was left from the Salt Lake Institute. So I went back out to go get those and brought those in. There's a bunch of different brochures that are available out there about how to give to Rotary. Let's talk for a minute. You're a club president-elect. Let's see how much you know. How do you give to the Rotary Foundation? Raise your hands. This is open discussion here. What? Wow, the most important one right off the bat. Say it again real loud. Stand up. Explain what it is.
I'm going to take money out of your account every month.
Isn't that fantastic? Rotary will take your money for you without you having to do a thing. Well, you have to sign up for it. Autograph. It's wonderful. You don't have to worry about sending that check into your secretary and then him not sending it into Rotary. Autograph. Okay. They just do it once a year, right?
Every month.
Every month. Raise your hand. What else? How else can you give to the Rotary Foundation?
Paul Harris donations.
Paul Harris. Who's that? And what is that? Tell me about Paul Harris. Let's talk about just the Paul Harris Award first. What is it?
Donating $1,000 to the Paul Harris Foundation gives you the Paul Harris Award Society. Yeah.
Rather than make somebody uneasy, I'm not going to ask if you're a Paul Harris, but I'm going to ask if you belong to a club that is 100% Paul Harris. We've got a few hands. 100% Paul Harris. Maybe that should be a goal. Neldon Maxwell was our club president of Centerville Pharmacy Club about 15 years ago. Why do I remember that? Because we became 100% Paul Harris Club. You get a cool little banner. Whoa! For $1,000 a person. Now, Errol, to become a Paul Harris, do you have to give $1,000? Stand up and speak loud.
Are you talking about Paul Harris?
Paul Harris. I'm talking about the Paul Harris Award.
Fellow or society?
No, just
Paul Harris fellow.
fellow.
Well, one way to do that is to accumulate $1,000 giving to the annual fund, Polio Plus, and/or global grant. Another way to do that is to donate $500. Contact me and I'll match it with 500 foundation recognition points from the LDS Charities account.
Would you mind repeating that last part?
If you donate $500 to those three possibilities, then contact me. I can match that with another 500 foundation recognition points, and your recognition level goes up to 1,000.
Okay, I understand that you're not being heard everywhere.
Yeah.
So let me explain. For $500, the district or your club will have what they call points. You've heard of airline points and understand those. But for $500, the district or your club will match that $500 with 500 points, and your club members can all become Paul Harris Society or Paul Harris Fellows for $500. That's the cheap way to go in, but why not? Fantastic. So, points. I don't want to get into that because it's one of those things I wish I'd never started. But it's available and we ought to be using it. Our district probably has more points than anybody else in Rotary because there's a significant donor that has given thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the point is given for each one of those. All right, we got Paul Harris Fellow. We have automatic withdrawal, or automatic auto drafts. Thank you. What else?
The Bequest Society.
And you would know that, wouldn't you? What a Rotarian this guy is. Stand up, please. We ought to applaud you, but instead tell us, what is the Bequest Society?
Bequest Society doesn't cost you anything. You put it in your will, your estate planning of some sort, but when you pass on your greater reward, then a given amount will go to the Rotary Foundation. It's that easy. You all should have wills, you all should have some kind of estate planning. It's not going to hurt you at all to put a little point in there that on your demise, that money goes to the Rotary Foundation.
There's a brochure out there that talks about that. There's a brochure out there that talks about the Paul Harris. Oh, Paul Harris Society, what the heck is that? Anybody? What is everybody in shit? Come on, stand up again. This guy's our hero. What is the Paul Harris Society?
Auto draft.
That is a fantastic way to do it. $1,000 a year. And for $1,000 a year, you can have a little Chevron like this. Isn't that cool? That is fantastic. For $1,000. I'm going to get into a little bit more later why you want to do that. It's not for a little Chevron. What else? Paul Harris Society, Paul Harris Fellow, Bequest. Anything else?
E-Ray.
Thank you. What does that mean?
Every Rotarian, every year.
Every Rotarian, every year. If you're not making up the decision, I'm going to have 100% Paul Harris Society Club, then you ought to at least decide we are going to be an E-Ray Club. Isn't that part of the presidential citation? Every Rotarian, every year, $100. Everybody can do that that's in Rotary. So those are some of the means that you can give. Paul, did you have another one?
Yeah. Donor Advised Fund.
Oh, now you're getting into something sticky here. Wow, explain that since you would know.
Donor Advised Fund. If you should come into, say, selling a business, or you get a big inheritance, or something that would be a lot of taxable income in a given year, you really ought to establish a Donor Advised Fund, the Rotary Foundation, and everything you put in it is totally tax deductible that year, is regarded as a 501c3. And then you could just go online to the website, and you can make grants to the Rotary anything you want to make a donation to, that is a 501c3. You've already got the tax deductible aspect of it done in that big year that you had. And so now it's just check off some boxes and it's done each year. And then you can, every time you replenish that, every time you send some money to that's a tax deductible donation at that time. And so it's fun. It really stepped up my charitable giving because it was so famous.
Thank you. Okay, as club president-elect, oh, Judy, do you have another one?
Yeah, I do. You know, it's one that we never hear about, but it's really something that is, you know, while you're talking about donor advised funds where you get to direct your money. Well, if you'd like to earmark your $1,000 a year contribution or something smaller, you can also contribute. I know the district, and I know under Bruce's tutelage, is really encouraging clubs to join with global grants. You can contribute through your club to a global grant and allocate those points to yourself and allocate those points to a global grant. In other words, the funds to a particular global grant that the club is involved in. You never really hear that, but I've done it a lot in my life, so just something to think about.
Cool. All right, as president-elect, I want to see by raising hands, how many have learned of a new way that you can give to Rotary? Oh, hey, that's exciting. Good. Do you think you could convey that to your club members? Guess what? You don't need to. Because something else that you need to do as a club president is select, if you do not have one, a foundation chair in your club.
To be part of the quad squad.
Cool! So that foundation chair can control all this and oversees it and looks at it and checks it and double checks with each club member. They can have access on the Rotary website of how much each individual member of your club has given. So let's say you have Joe Blow, he's given $915 to Rotary Foundation. He's short what? $85. Maybe in that case you could just squeeze it out. But let's say he's $200 short. You have a couple options there. You could go to him and say, if you give $100, we'll get you 100 points, and that'll give you a Paul Harris. Put you as a Paul Harris Fellow. Or if you give $200, where was I headed? Yeah, points. That's the point. That's why you use PowerPoint, isn't it? If you give $200, then you'll be a Paul Harris Fellow. And you'll be one of the rest of the 88 of us in our club that are Paul Harris Fellows, and we can become a Paul Harris Fellow 100% club. Not hard. This foundation chair can look and see, oh, this guy's a benefactor. What's a benefactor? Wally?
Well, that's step one on the bequest society. Again, you designate up to $10,000 to the foundation in your some state will or whatever.
Yeah, so $1,000 you become a benefactor. $10,000 or more, it's a bequest society. And we have people in our district that are giving their estate to Rotary. In a minute I'm going to talk about why that's so important and the significance of this. I'm not trying to just say, hey, we all need to get money in here. This is the last thing I've ever talked about. Because I've been on the Rotary, our district foundation committee since 2003. Why? Because I like spending other people's money rather than giving them mine. Maybe you're like that, I don't know. But we do need to talk about how you can give and how your club members can give. So you don't need to do it, but you need to do what? Call a foundation chair. show him how to get on the website. You're gonna have to learn that first. To get on the website and look at where are our club members, who's giving what, and how can we improve our giving as a club. Set a goal. Set a goal of what your club is going to give. When I became a club president the first time, I had to set a goal. The instant I walked into Pets, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm going to give you 15 minutes to talk about it on yourselves, in your mind. No, I want you to set a goal, and you're going to get online, and you're going to set that goal for your club. So you call the foundation chair. No.
Is the year the calendar year or our fiscal year?
It is the Rotary year that we're talking through. So yes, thank you. That foundation chair is going to help you become one of the clubs that is more giving. Is there any questions about the supply side of Rotary? Then I'm going to go to what I really love, and that's the use side. I'm going to ask this, since I already used my PowerPoint, I'm going to ask this entire table to pass those out. Oh, I need one, so I know what I'm talking about. This chart, probably be better if I use the PowerPoint on this one, but this chart shows the TRF. What does that stand for? The Rotary Foundation. It explains how this whole thing works. When you get your club to donate all these funds, it's exciting because you can guarantee that in 3 years, you will have created a legacy. Because the Rotary Foundation takes that money and uses it for 3 years. During those 3 years, hopefully it builds up and there's not a crash. And hopefully it continues to grow, and they use that Rotary money. They can divide that then into what's called, after 3 years, District Designated Funds, or DDF. DDF is money that Rotary gives back to you as a club and as a district. How many of you have worked with foundations that call you every week and say, I'm with so-and-so, we'd like you to give money. We're going to give it back to you though, too. Ever had one of those calls? Rotary doesn't bother calling you, but they do that. They give our district back 50% of the money that we give to start off with, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Through that money that they distribute, that 50% goes to District 5420. Last year we received a check from Rotary International. Not really, they kept it, but it was ours. $186,000. That means that our district, over the past 3 years ago, donated over $320,000 to the Rotary Foundation. $340,000, I guess. Well, okay, what do we do with that money? The district just goes out and has a good time. In fact, Bev's going to have a pool party next week. That's secret. No one should know about that, but she can use this money for that. No, that's not right. Yes?
Why the 3 years?
We have our man over here that can tell us why 3 years.
The funds have to be invested, therefore we have to have returns.
There needs to be returns. A few years ago when the stock market was not doing well, 3 years was about half as long as they needed. We just didn't have the funds. But 3 years, the money is used and invested. 50% of that money is divided automatically. Well, I shouldn't say that. Rotary International says we have to use 20% of our money locally. Our district has made the conscious decision that we're going to take 50% of the money we get back and give it in the form of district grants. Those are the grants that your clubs get. If you don't know anything about that, oh wow! There is money available to your club through the district from money that your club gave 3 years ago. Does this make sense so far? That's why you want to become a Paul Harris Society club. 100%. Wow, that would be a fantastic club. Paul Harris Society. Everybody in your club give you $1,000 a year. But that's why we need the money, so you can have more money to use in projects. Now, I'm not going to go into real depth about district grants, because I want you to understand you don't need to worry about that except to make sure it happens. June 15th, you ought to be talking to your current club president and say, actually before June 15th, say, listen, we need to have our report in for our district grant. Has it been turned in? And he's going to say, no, don't know anything about it. That's not true. Because he signed his name on a contract that says, I know about this, and I will make sure it's reported. So let's say the Sugar House Club decided they wanted to do, a lot of people do dictionaries. I think there was somebody that did shelter boxes this year. There are other projects. What projects has your club done? What? Dictionaries?
Kindle fires.
Kindle Fire? Oh, Kindle Fires.
We
Cool.
donate Kindle fires to after-school programs.
Neat. Anybody else know what they're doing?
I like e-books.
That's a cool program. These are things that are all available. Yes, Brent.
Build a swing set for a women's shelter.
Why would you do that? Build a swing set for a women's shelter? You didn't even have to spend your own money. Well, 3 years ago you did. Okay?
We did a Christmas box house, bought all the bark and everything was spread on a brand new playground. Bought it, spread it, and did the whole project.
Great,
It's
great.
around.
Marianne, did I see Marianne
Very interesting.
there? Okay. She did, that club did a project in Ecuador. District grant money can be used for local or international projects. Generally, it's used for local, but please consider it wide open as long as it complies with the with Rotary International guidelines. So district grant money is important because it comes back to you, and you have ultimate responsibility for that money and how it's dispersed. Okay, so half of it goes to district grants, the other half goes to global grants. Now we come to the point why I went to international countries over 60 times. Global grants. I want you to know my club has committed to over $30,000 in the last 20 years to international projects. That's pretty cool. None of us are millionaires, but $30,000. Well, there's people in our club that also understand what global grants are. How much have we actually sent out in grant money? Any guesses? Oh, come on, $1 million?
No, over $1 million, I think it was 1.4, he said.
Well, to send out another one for $55,000, we put $674.95 into that grant. But because we joined with others, and because we had it matched, and because global grant money is matched by Rotary International 100%, it's been over $1.5 million. Our club has been able to send out in the form of various types of grants. We've done 7 water projects in Guatemala. We've supplied hospitals. We've done all sorts of things because of global grants. Now there is no freebies anywhere. And I'll tell you, a global grant is a heck of a deal to go into. It takes a lot of work. And there's maybe only a dozen Rotarians in our district that know how they work. And Rosemary can testify that sometimes it's not real fun. Jerry right there, stand up again, Jerry, has got a new assignment. It is the
Project, it's a
If you have an idea of what you want to do internationally, here's the man to talk to. There are others in our district. Thank you, Jerry. Jerry can help you. He helps train you. I can train you. Andy Dahman, who is in the wheelchair and unfortunately had an accident, won't be here today or tomorrow, can also train you. There's a number of people within the District Foundation Committee that can help train you to use global grants. Maybe you don't want to do that. As a club president, the first time, I decided I was going to do an international global grant. And I thought, well, I know all sorts of people in Mexico. I'll just go down there and tell them how it works. So that's what I did. I found out that I was not the only smart guy. I sat for an hour and a half in the Rotary Club of Nuevo Casa Grandes, Mexico, while they went through 7 or 8 grants of what was going on and what they were doing as a club. Internationally, people understand how these things work and why they need them. And when I came to present my little project, they said, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it. 2.5 years later, after I'd forgotten I was even club president, I closed the grant. But Jerry, are there people that don't have to do all that work and still serve?
I think you're referring to the fact that people can join with another global grant. We have 11 global grants in the district right now that are developing. They have to put their applications in. They need at least $10,000 if they wish. And they have 3 or 4 or 5, and so if other clubs join with them, they can get the $10,000 club money to be matched by Rotary. So you can join another club's project that they're leading.
Great, great. So we want to encourage you. If you don't want to do a global grant, hey, great. But don't let your club go without serving. Don't let your club go without being involved. I've got one more slide on my PowerPoint. Can you guys pass these out? I'm not going to be able to convince you to don't turn them over. I want you to look at this side first, but you can turn them over and wonder, why the heck am I looking at National Geographic? Going back to this while I pass those out. We get the DDF, District Designated Funds, divided into 50-50. 50 goes directly to you as club members or clubs, and 50% goes towards global grants. Global grants are matched. District grants are not. The other 50% goes to the World Fund. That World Fund becomes important because it funds things like the peace initiatives, peace fellows, emergencies that come up throughout the world. But you'll notice there's one little line. It goes between the World Fund and over here to global grants. How in the world did my club get $1.5 million if we only gave $30,000? World Fund money, the other 50% of somebody else, came to our club and went out in form of global grants. Is that exciting? I'm here to yes. Is that exciting? Yeah. Yes, it is. Is it exciting that you can get a grant for a district grant and use money that you gave away once already? We got a whoa now. Is that exciting? Yes. Is it exciting that your entire club can be involved in giving and sustaining the Rotary Foundation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hallelujah, brother. All right. Now, in the final minutes here that I've got, I want you to look first at the back of this card. It gives contact information. Errol's name is right there. Scott Lackman's name is there. Oh my gosh, the guy's doing double duty. Polio Plus. Therese Millard's name is here. Paul Harris Society. $1,000 a year. There's the supply side people. They can help you. They know what they're doing. And they can help you be successful in giving to the Rotary Foundation. Then we have the district grants. Chris Swanson was going to be here, but unfortunately, she had an accident too. Don't get on the foundation committee. Holy cow. She had an accident, so as of yesterday, she's not able to come. But Chris is in charge of those district grants. Well, you're going to ask, how much money can I really get? Salt Lake Club got $9,000. Why? They donated more and they had more members. And they were also current on all the reports. East Carbon Club got $600, all 4 members. What's that, $125 a piece? Not bad. So depending on the size of your club and the amount of the donations over a 3-year period is what you'll be getting in district grant. And we try and give as much as we possibly can. Now the other thing that will determine the size of that district grant will be how many other club members or clubs ask for a grant. About 6 years ago, I think we had 14 clubs apply for a district grant. Holy cow, did we have money coming out of our ears? And we divided it among those 14 clubs. A year ago, every club in the district applied for a district grant. I hope that's the case this coming year. Applications are due, record this in your mind, July 1. What day is that? Something important happens that day. What is it? You take over as club president. So July 1, you're gonna, not before that, you better go to the Rotary, Utah Rotary, go to the website, find the application for a district grant, and fill out that, massive one-page application. It comes down to 1 paragraph, some finances, and I think 3 signatures. And then you send it in to Chris. And she records it and says, yes, here's 1 more club we can give money to. All right. So district grants, the reminder's right there. June 15th, your final your final report for the money that you got from the district is required. Just like Rotary International, reports are required. Rotary International is very rigid on their reporting requirements, but they get things done. And in order to get things done, we have a rigid requirement of June 15th to get that final report in. Last year it was October when we finally got the last June 15th application or report in. But if you will please send that in, because you're not going to get a grant this coming year if it's not sent in. Is that fair? How many have learned anything? Tell me what you've learned. Just Rick?
Well, there's several methods of using the money, but also I just want to make a comment. I, for one, am grateful for the reporting that they require, because that, as I've seen this work with the grants that you've done, these funds are not spent frivolously. They are, the rubber's meeting the road. The money's going where it needs to go because of these rigid reporting requirements, because they want to know what's happening.
I'm going to do a little Trumpism here and kind of deviate from everything for just a minute. I've been involved in a number of organizations, one of which was Hope Alliance. Great organization. First time they went down to Peru, they put in a water well for the people on the Amazon. It was fantastic. For the first time, these people had pure water. They came back the next year, it wasn't working. Well, why isn't your pump working? Their response, I don't know. It's not our pump. I can guarantee you Every water system that the Centerville Farmington Rotary Club has been involved in, creation in Guatemala is working after many years. In fact, we work with another organization that's 42 years old, have done about 100 projects, all of which are working after 42 years. This is why Rotary is so effective. You can know when you give that dollar, it's going to something worthwhile, and it'll be used wisely. Okay. Global Grants, Andy Dahman, Jerry Summerhades. There's their contact information. If you don't want to do a grant, and believe me, it's time consuming, talk to one of those 11 clubs that are doing it. Turn your page over and let's look at that, not too carefully, and analyze why we're going to do a global grant. What problems do you see? Smoke. She's not smoking. Smoke. I'm sorry, I'm making light of that. I should, because smoke becomes a huge health effect. It kills hundreds of people, little kids, and you breathe that. When I walked in this room, I almost had to turn around because I couldn't breathe. And it took me a number of minutes to accustom myself to breathing in that smoke. And it was difficult. Smoke. Another thing. Dirt floors. Can you imagine sleeping on the dirt? What do you find on dirt? It's not cold, but there's bugs, there's snakes, there's all sorts of things, and there is no health provisions anywhere close to this place. Believe me, I've been there on a dirt road. It took 2.5 hours to get to. What else?
The walls, metal walls.
Metal walls.
They warm up really nice in the sun, but when there's no sun, they get very cold.
Stifling and freezing. Exactly right. What else? Cooking. She's got an open fire, for heaven's sakes. Do something else. That's all she could do to find the firewood to build that. What else?
The fire itself is known to maim and injure babies who are learning to walk, who fall into the fire. The day we got here, there was a little girl who fell into the fire and was burned over most of her body.
Happens every day.
Yes.
Great. Anything else? I wonder what kind of schooling that little girl gets. I wonder what kind of health nutrition that gives. I wonder what kind of education the mother has. There's 100,000 things on this picture that you could see are being done or can be done with a global grant. Now, this happens to be at La Trompeta, Guatemala. I was there a year ago in January. I took that picture, and 4 months later, the St. George Rotary Club, St. George Rotary Club was in La Trompeta. That fire isn't there anymore. There is a stove, an eco-friendly stove. It's not the kind you use, but there is a stove there that will eliminate many of those problems. That St. George Rotary Club help with initiatives in many of the areas that we've talked about by way of a global grant. They were not able to do one thing, that was to provide water for La Trompeta. Now you think you might have it hard today because you had to get here by 10 o'clock. I did. La Trompeta has 165 families. And they have water that's completely adequate for 32. For 165 families, they receive water rationing, 2.5 hours, not a day, not every other day, once a week. Are there needs that are still needing to be taken care of? Can you make a difference in Rotary? Can your club make a difference? If you were to join with any one of those district or global grants that are being formulated right now, I promise you can make a difference. Now, going back to this, what did you call it? Quad? The Quad Squad. Let's talk about for a second about that St. George Rotary Club. They started going to Guatemala about 10 years ago. Can you imagine how many people they've affected? Well, they've affected St. George, and they've affected the St. George Rotary Club, and they've affected its membership, amazingly. It's continued to grow because they see, wow, we're doing something here. And 20 of them just went to go to Guatemala, and they took people from all sorts of different clubs in southern Utah. They're affecting, changing lives. Right in St. George, because this lady that doesn't speak Spanish is involved in grants.
And oh my goodness, as the third member of the Quad Squad, I have to tell you that it was a great opportunity for getting the word out in the world, to the world, of all the wonderful things that Rotary does. So
Thank you, Linda, and she would know because that's what she has the responsibility for in her club. Getting the word out. Rich, you're doing such a great job. We need to tell people, hey, the Centerville Rotary Club's doing something. Get that information out. I was delighted to see the Bountiful Club had a big article in the newspaper the other day. It's not as easy as it used to be to get stuff in the newspaper, but you got this social media thing. Honestly, you don't have to stand out on the corner and say anything. There are lots of ways of convincing people to use the Rotary Foundation to be involved. Okay, questions? Yes, Stuart, I have one question for you. How the heck do you eat with that mustache? Holy cow! Oh, okay.
I thought about shaving today, but I forgot. Do you have to have a club on the other side to do a global grant?
Yes, you do. Thank you for bringing that up. I know you knew the answer. But you have to have a Rotary Club partner. Jerry, stand up. He's the guy that can help you find that partner if you don't have one. But don't even worry about talking to Jerry because there's 11 clubs already that need your money. That you can help support and that you can become a part of. This grant we just committed to yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. We're in with the Maine District 7790, which is part of Canada and Maine. How the heck do we make that connection? Well, through a Rotary partner. There's lots of ways of doing these things, and we can help you become involved there. Jerry is an expert at it. Okay, you need to have a Rotary Club partner. Now, let me explain one thing and give you a warning on global grants. If you don't have a partner that's active and involved and willing to commit to send you an email, when you send him an email or her an email, forget it. I'm sorry, there could be 100,000 people dying, but you're not going to be able to do a global grant unless you have a partner that's actively involved. It's just the way it is. Other questions? Please.
How do you determine how much money you have in a district grant?
Again, that's kind of a problematic thing because it depends on how many people apply for district grants. Now, the word's out in our district, so it's likely most clubs will be submitting an application. This year, we have approximately $80,000 to divide up between 49 clubs. So you kind of take a guess. The best way to figure that out would be to find out what your global or what your district grant was this last year and figure on somewhere close to that. But then it might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less.
How do you know that? How do you know how much?
As soon as we have all the applications in, we can tell you.
No, I mean last year, how do you find out last year?
Oh, find out from your club president, he should know. And if you don't know, if the club president doesn't know, he should. Then talk to the club foundation chair, he should. Or talk to the person who was in charge of that project. Or, let's fellas, Chris wants to be willing to help you, kind of give you a guesstimate.
So,
Rick?
when you make this application by July the 1st, you have to have a project in mind. You don't just say, we want to apply for.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So you have a project in mind, so the president-elect needs to be thinking about it the whole year prior to
Yeah.
coming in, or his foundation share.
Yeah.
So-
Now, so you're going to think about that project and have it in mind, something that you understand. I was going to go into the real nitty-gritty details of all this with the foundation chairs that are going to meet tomorrow. But I wanted you to remember that deadline. The other thing is, I want you to understand, please, do not count your chickens before they're hatched, because they won't hatch. If you spend money on a Rotary District grant before it's been approved, Rotary International will not honor that receipt. So hang on to your project. Recognize that it probably won't be until about, let's do July 1, August 15th. About the first part of September, we should be really close to knowing how much money you're going to have. And hopefully by the end of September, we have money to you. That's if everybody turns in their grant reports this year. Paul?
Bruce, to get in the global grant arena, you need to have raised about $30,000. Isn't that the threshold? Isn't that where you...
A global grant requires $30,000. The first global grant our club did, we put in $0. But I knew about the project, and I knew people that had money, and we did it. But our district, all districts have a little bit different way of approaching this. Our district is, we want you to become involved. And we don't care if you put in $100 or $500,000. We're going to help you with that district, with that global grant. The minimum we give to clubs involved in global grants is $10,000 to start off with, which in reality translates to, because of 100% match, $10,000 is $20,000 of the $30,000. So if you're thinking, oh, I just don't have $30,000, please don't worry about that. I'll find the other 10 if you can't come up with that. So, thank you. $30,000 minimum on global grants. Other questions? Please.
Out of ignorance, I'm going to say that in Salt Lake County, there are Rotary clubs that are living in highly impoverished areas. And they probably could use a global grant to help with some of the problems in, shall we say, the west side of Salt Lake County. And there are other areas.
Great question.
They're rural areas. So is there, in your experience, a way that we can communicate internationally with clubs that would like to work with us to bring service to?
I'm going to answer that question in two parts. First one, a district grant can be used. District grant can definitely be used. You don't have to get anybody's approval. You don't have to have a matching partner. You don't have to have anything. Jerry, I'm going to give you your exercise. Stand up again. Have any experience in that area?
Yes, and the Hispanic Club is probably in the best position to do this of any of us, because they have so many people they know internationally. The Murray Rotary Club has great partners a homeless clinic, a dental clinic in Salt Lake City. Would you be the international partner so we can get a big grant to fund this homeless dental clinic? And they were delighted, and we did it. So it still takes the two partners, but you need to know somebody well enough that they will be the international sponsor and you're the host sponsor. So it is possible.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, we have about 4 minutes left. I want, by the raise of hands, how many have learned anything at all? I know most of you are thinking, oh, that's how Stuart eats, huh? No. All right, I want you now, keep those hands up. You can put them down. I want you to tell me what it is you learned.
Autograph.
Thank you. You can put yours down. What else? Paul Harris Society, $1,000 a week. Whoa! A year. Bequest Society.
Deadlines.
What was that?
Deadlines.
Oh, thank you. The most important thing that, boy, Chris would kill me if I didn't. Thank you. That's exciting. Deadlines.
Global grant.
Global grants. By the way, global grants have no deadlines whatsoever. Doesn't matter when you start or when you finish them.
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint. When you have PowerPoint, make sure you have electricity, because that will be a constant. The District Foundation Committee will work for you, but we expect you to do something too. First, we want you to get money into your club so you can get money back. And secondly, we will help you use that money if we can, in any way possible. Other things? Thank you for allowing me to babble on. You're not done. I'm not done.
This is a world's first. We had a speaker in 15 minutes early. I've got a question I'd like to ask all the presidents-elect. How many of you have selected a good, strong foundation chair? How many of you have not selected a foundation chair, period? Hands high. So, I'm going to ask Bruce a question, and those of you that have a good, strong chair, I'd like to also hear from you. What's the guidance you'd give to those that have not selected a foundation chair to get a good, strong foundation chair? And while he's thinking of it, while he's giving his answer, because I know he hasn't answered everything, those of you that do have a good, strong chair, any advice you'd give too would be really welcome.
Okay. A foundation chair is going to be like your right-hand man. The treasurer's vitally important. The secretary is vitally important. But if you're actually going to do anything in Rotary, besides have a fun time and check the attendance, you got to have a foundation chair that's going to help you understand how to get money in and possibly direct how to get money out using it. Now, he doesn't need to be perfect, or she doesn't need to have a tremendous understanding. Tomorrow, they are going to receive a massive amount of technicalities that you don't want to be bothered with as president. And if you don't have one here, that's okay, because we can still go to your club and present the information to that chair so that they understand fully. That chair is going to be able to go into the Rotary website, find out the giving history of the club, of the individual, find out where they're at, see if they're going to be able to give to the Paul Harris Society, if they can become benefactors. I've got a few brochures in my trunk of my car for the Arch Clump Society. They're in the trunk of my car because all you have to do is give $250,000 to become a member.
A recommendation, make sure your foundation chair is here tomorrow for the assembly to attend the foundation foundation breakout.
Perfect.
So I have a suggestion. I'm just an assistant to Art, but he gave me a good suggestion. 2 years before I agreed to be president of my club, Art said to me, if you wanted to learn Rotary, be the foundation chair. So as a president-elect nominee, I became the foundation chair for a couple of years, and I really learned in and ins and outs of Rotary. So that's another place to recruit your foundation chair, because it's a very good place to learn. And as Art said, it's not a very sexy committee, but it's a very important committee. And so that's a suggestion.
Thank you. Okay. Let's ask somebody who has a good foundation chair. Besides my own club. Anybody have a really good foundation chair? Please. Tell us about her.
Arrow.
Talk about stacking the deck.
That's cheating.
Has he ever approached you about utilizing points? Good for him. We have plenty. Use them. Make your club a Paul Harris fellow. I had to think about this. Okay. All right.
So I'd like you to just reflect in your clubs. And what's the biggest challenge you face in the area of foundation? Foundation, both giving and the using side, the project side. What's the biggest challenge you face?
I think our club,
Stand up and project. It's a big room.
our club, Bruce is in my club.
That's the biggest challenge.
Our foundation chair is very, knows a lot too. I think the thing I want to make sure is that they help us understand better. So I think a lot of great things happen, but I'm not sure all the members really understand how it happens.
And how are you going to do that?
We're gonna educate it. We'll take a couple of club meetings to help people understand it.
Good. Okay, another big challenge you face in foundation. Okay, I'm going to raise a hands. Is there one here?
I have a question.
Oh, great.
We were just talking right now, and she's the president and the nominee, but we were discussing that it might be a good idea for her to be the foundation chair, so that she gets more training for that. But how would that work tomorrow in the training, because they're divided? Which one would be best for her?
So tomorrow in the afternoon, you all will get a chance to select the one of these sessions you want to go to again. So you'll have an opportunity. You could go to the foundation one tomorrow afternoon. Okay, so you get to pick the most important one tomorrow.
I have this commitment to do 10,000 steps a day. So 10,000 steps a day, I need to be on the move. I am willing to go anywhere, to talk to anybody. And most of the members of our district foundation committee are more than willing to come and see your club individually. Not only to talk about the foundation, but to train. So please, don't hesitate to say, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing.
A suggestion too, again, global grants are the only way you get a lot more money back because that's matched. So there are 11 clubs that don't have enough money for their global grants that they're developing right now. You could ask a member of those clubs to come to your club and present on one of those 11 projects to know it better, to decide which one you want to join. That's another speaker.
How many of you have an objective to be a part of a global grant next year? What's the only reason you wouldn't be part of a global grant? You don't have any money. Everybody in this room can participate in a global grant. Why is that, Bruce?
Well, I'll go back to Jerry. Jerry, you've done a number of grants, and you've got how many clubs involved in Ecuador or Colombia?
In Ecuador and Colombia, there were 12 clubs involved. In the Morocco grant, there were 17 clubs.
All you need is money.
And it can be $5. It doesn't need to be a massive amount. I did a project, a water system. I went to an institute in Denver about 2 years ago, and unbeknownst to me, this lady was talking about global grants, and up popped this real PowerPoint. There's a picture of a place I knew well. I spent my 60th birthday in the latrine, not because of diarrhea. I was digging it. There were 200 other holes, though, in that same village. And all of them have latrines now. And there's water in that village. Chi Pastor was featured in this institute as the premier type of grant that wants to be done in Rotary. There were about 60 clubs involved in that project. Most of them were out of Canada and Maine area. And most of those clubs gave about $150. Wasn't a massive amount. Tell that to the lady that came up and hugged me. Boy, she had big breasts. She just kind of sucked me in there. I just can't breathe. She was so overcome with joy. I have water. I can walk out of my house, and there's a latrine. Her life was changed because some little club gave $150.
How many have a goal to participate in a district grant? Great. What is the only thing you need to participate in a district grant? No, a great idea. All you've got to have is a great idea and a little bit of time to write that one pager.
And you have to have your report in from last year, June 15th, and the application in by... What day is that? How can I remember that day? Okay. You can do a district grant without any money. We'll just give you the money. It's likely it's not going to be massive.
And President-elect nominees, when do you need to be planning your district grant? Now. So it's a partnership with your president-elect to get that going. Bruce, you have 5 minutes now.
Okay. Thank you.
Please. Another 2 cents, please. Last year was the first year RI let us apply for RILA for a district grant.
Great, thank you.
We were able to send 7 RILA students with our district grant.
I have great admiration for the dictionary project. Our club, we actually did dictionaries in the state of Colima, Mexico. We did the entire state. Other clubs, the Vernal Club, every year they hike down the bottom of the Grand Canyon. They hand out dictionaries to this little teeny Indian village down there. It's a great project. But there are other things out there, so I would challenge you to look at what you can do. Governor, how would you suggest we could use it to help youth?
Well, you can contact our new youth chair, soon-to-be new youth chair, Marion Barth. There's a lot of youth programs. We have your Interact programs need your money. These kids are so dynamic. They want to do a lot of things, but they're always underfunded. So get involved with your Interact clubs, and they'll help you direct your money.
Perfect. Miriam, you mentioned something in another meeting we were at, something about some points being used.
Yeah, and we're using Paul Heritage points to award our young leaders for Paul Harris Awards, and it's actually going to happen at district conference. We're looking for just 1,000 points for one more student. So if you guys have...
Oh, I got plenty of points myself.
Yeah,
I'll give them to you.
I mean, that's just a way to help them get engaged, to recognize their efforts, and also for them to
Cool. It doesn't even cost you anything. You just take 1,000 points from your club. Almost every club has plenty of points. But if not, the district has more than plenty of points. And you can make anybody in the world, we can probably make everybody in the world Paul Harris fellows with points. Doesn't cost anything. You just fill out the little application, say there's 1,000 points I want to use for this. We did that for years and years and years. We did our Citizen of the Year. We gave them a cool plaque and a medal. Everybody wants to be able to wear a medal, especially if you live in Russia.
It's a one-page application.
What's that?
It's a one-page application.
That's correct. You go under and look under contribution forms. It prints out a one-page thing and says, what's this going to be used for? Boom. You don't have to contribute anything. You just say, we want you to use these points from this club, these points from this district, or these points from this individual. And we want to give it Paul Harris. I don't know his real name. In Mexico, they use lots of nicknames. So Microfono in Ocotlán, Mexico, is a Paul Harris Fellow. Because I gave him a Paul Harris Fellow. His name, the plaque, is on the wall of his club as a Paul Harris Fellow. It is a huge thing outside the United States. Huge. Another use of points.
And I was going through the city of Aurora, Utah, which is north of Richfield, and the policeman pulled me over to give me a ticket, which I was well deserved. But he gave me a warning. He's now a Paul Harris Fellow.
That's the most unique use of points I've ever had. I can see Greg's over there writing that down. Okay, other questions? This is it, wrapping up. Now, we'll have another session and go into detail with those non-existent foundation chairs or someone that you might ask to go. And we'll go through the details of these grants, other ways of giving. But it's important that you as president-elect understand these things. You don't need to know all the details. Get that foundation chair to find out. You can find out from us. There's a list of names on the back of that picture. That picture's there to remind yourself that that was a problem. And because of the St. George Rotary Club, that is no longer a problem in this house. Thank you very much.